Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of I'm a Statman with myself, Luke, and Mr. Andrew Statman, the Stats, Dalton. How are you doing, Andrew? All right?
Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. Coming into this after what I thought was an excellent point against Chelsea at the weekend, just stopped the worrying in certain parts of the supporting group base. And I thought it was a very positive performance. Yeah, gutting not to score in the end, but with all intents and purposes, I think that's a really good result against a side that is going for trophy at the end of this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Could not agree more. And I know I tend to agree with everything everybody says, unless it's really out there. But yeah, I mean, what's not to agree with? Really solid performance. We were tough to beat. They were tough to beat. And I think a draw was a fair result for all involved. I think if either team had nicked it, the other team would have been hard done to. So yeah, fair draw against a strong Tuchel Chelsea.
Yeah.
Since he's taken over, he's made them compact and difficult to beat. And yeah, we are where we are. I think you actually are in a bit of trouble with the pod because you went against Leeds.
I did. I had to be honest. I thought we'd beat them. But do you know what? I was pleased I was wrong.
Yeah, well, that gives you -5. I think. Oh no, it doesn't. It only if you're back against Leeds and Leeds wins. So I think you just didn't get any points or something like that. But yeah,
I tried to be honest. I tried to be realistic. I thought we might get beat, but look, they surprised me. I thought they defended brilliantly. They didn't have too much to deal with apart from the disastrous own goal in the first half that I think Calendar failing and hit the crossbar, which would have been quite. Roberts hit the crossbar, that hit the other end as well, and Rafinha nearly scored as well. But all intents and purposes, a very good point, and it brings us to another game in London.
It does indeed. Now, moving on to that game in London. Now, I've not seen the presser. I've jumped on straight from work, so I haven't seen any of the feedback. Has there been anything mentioned about Bamford or Cooper?
Yeah, Cooper's out. Bamford's fit.
Right, perfect. And in terms of Cooper, I know he missed the last game due to illness. Do we have a clue what that illness is?
No. And look, everyone speculates what's going on in the world at the moment. I think it's disrespectful to speculate because nobody knows what's going on at the moment. I think all we can say is get well soon, Skip, and hope after international break.
Absolutely. I think the only positive is that we didn't really miss him against Chelsea because Stroik stepped up and had an absolute belting game. Alongside Llorente there at centre back. I thought they worked really, really well together. It was part of one of the polls that we put out actually. Cooper does walk straight back in because he's the club captain. But based on
what it does show, Luke, is that for the future that we've got players there that can step in, and I think Llorente is growing game by game. Robin Koch played in the reserves, of course, during the week. And Pascal Strike, for me, is going to win Young Player of the Year. I think he's been brilliant. I think that's been
fantastic. Solid, absolutely solid he has. Not so effective in the CDM role, but as a young kid, centre-back, I think he's probably looked our biggest threat from set pieces when he's been in there. And he's also defended. You can almost tell he's come through a Dutch academy because of the way he plays. He's got that. Do you know what I mean? He's got that extra second with his foot on the ball. He seems to read the game really, really well. And I seen. I don't know if it was yourself that posted it. Actually, it might not have been. I posted the other day. It was representing Netherlands under 17s a few years ago, alongside a certain Matthias de Ligt. Who's now obviously playing at Juventus. So yeah, comes from a good pedigree. Had a great season so far, which just takes us on to Fulham. So how do you think, first of all, how do we line up there at Fulham then? Do we have an unchanged?
I think if Bamford is fit, I don't think you can really change it. There was one side note that Rodrigo is a doubt with an injury, which is a shame for him because he's not really had a real run of full games at Leeds, which I'm sure will happen. But yeah, I think if Bamford's fit, you go with the same 11 that started the game against Chelsea at the weekend.
Yeah, good shout. One thing that perplexed me somewhat, I think, about Bielsa's decision making with Rodrigo was when Bamford did go off injured. He opted to. Roberts was having a fantastic game in the 10. but he opted to pull Roberts out the 10 and push him forward into the 9, and then put Rodrigo in at the 10. Now, Roberts is well renowned. Rodrigo's world renowned, should we say, for playing in the 9 role, not only for Valencia but for Spain. What's your thoughts on that? And is it because Bielsa sees him as a 10?
It's tough because we watched Rodrigo in the reserves against Wolves the other week, and I thought he was very, very good in the striking role. It might be, and look, you can never second guess Bielsa and what he does, because he's done a wonderful job at Leeds. But he may just see Roberts as sort of the second in chief, so to speak, behind Patrick Bamford, and for more have Rodrigo on the number 10 role. But I think the main thing is, Lou, they're versatile and they can switch if needs be. I think Rodrigo just needs a run of games. Hopefully gets over this niggling injury and he's fit for sort of the run-in after the international breaks. I think with Wolves, we've got left 9 games after this, and some big games coming up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the lineup, we're probably going unchanged with Paddy starting up front. And pretty much unchanged. Does Robin Koch make the bench then, do we think?
I think he does, yeah. I think he does. On the bench against Chelsea last week. So it's just a shame that Rodrigo won't be on the bench by the looks of things, because it's amazing. I put this out on Twitter and during the week. We've still not had all 4 players on the pitch at the same time, and Rafinha, Llorente and Koch, and I find that amazing as we're 29 games into the Premier League season.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of Fulham, we're playing a spirited Fulham side off the back of some decent results. We're obviously playing down in London, and I try and stay under my breath now just so I don't believe it. So I mean, they've got a few injuries. They've got a few players out. Bobby de Cordova Reed is out, I think, and they've got 1 or 2 other key players out. How do you see it going, honestly?
Look, I don't want to tempt fate here, and I know we've not going to have a bit. I think we'll win on Friday. I really do. I think the result against Chelsea just gives everyone a bit of a lift last time out, and we're going for a Fulham side that are battling for every single point. And they've won 1 in 4. Okay, that victory was against Liverpool at Anfield, which was a fantastic victory at the time. I think Liverpool's still struggling a little bit with the home form. They got done by Man City, but most teams do get done by Man City. Obviously, Leeds didn't, and hopefully Leeds won't in a few weeks' time. They had. Yes, they've got some very, very good players in the likes of Loftus-Cheek, Lamina, Josh Madge starting to score, Cavaliero, Mitrovic can always be a nuisance. But Lookman, another one who's starting to, I won't say a little bit of form, but he's scoring a couple of goals that could be quite vital to see if they do stay up. But I just feel it's the last game in London this season, Luke. I just feel they've saved it to the last one, haven't they, to go and get on Friday night, all being well.
Yeah, I did my prediction the other night, and I was probably overconfident, and I've got 5-0 Leeds.
Really?
I just think that somebody is due to be on the end of an absolute fucking walloping from Leeds this season, and nobody has really. And I think if it was, West Brom. But I think we are due, and we've sort of had a run of poor results. We had a good result against. Even though we've had these poor results, we've been playing all right. West Ham, draw against Chelsea, and I just think it's lined up perfectly for us to absolutely give them a right good shitting, you know. That was my my prediction on the pod anyway, and I got probably a few funnier looks than I probably should have done, but that's my thoughts. What are you going to go with then? Stick your neck out on the line.
With Fulham 0, Leeds United 2.
2-0 Leeds. Great. We'll make sure we update the stats table. You do have a bit of catching up to do on there in terms of the predictions, so you could do with a right score, to be fair.
To see all your predictions against Man City in a few weeks' time.
Hey, I still walk back against us, so I'll probably drop down the table then. But yeah, wicked. I'm a Statman. Okay, so moving on. We're at that point of the show, and I was going to plan to do a little rap for you this week, but I haven't had time to plan one, so I will promise you that next week on the next stats, I'll have a rap that rhymes and all that jazz. But yeah, that part of the show, take it away. The floor is yours.
Well, it's London, isn't it? And I've been going through the archives, and come game day, Friday night, it'll be 1,195 days since Leeds last won a game in London, which was on December the 9th. I know, 2017, with a 3-1 victory at QPR, thanks to Kemar Roof hat-trick. So I'm hoping that I can put that stat to bed. I'm sick of bringing that stat out every London team. Our record in London in the Premier League, since 92-93, reads played 75, won 24, drew 15, lost 36. That's a win percentage of 32%. Patrick Bamford will be looking, fingers crossed that he's fit. We'll be looking to make it 4 goals in 4 games against the Cottagers. Scored in all 3 games he's played against in a Leeds United shirt. And we'll be looking to do the double over Fulham for the first time in the top flight since season 67-68. We did do the double over them in the old second division in season 84-85. So hoping that we can put some of these records to bed, especially London one. I'm sick of losing in London. I think we only picked up 2 points in the last 16 games or something. Yeah, just please, Leeds, just get on Friday night.
Yeah, it's set up for us, but as we know, I mean, it can't be that London air that makes us play like shite when we go down there. I just don't know what it is. But we don't actually play that bad. Look at the West Ham game the other night. Last week we were the better side, and West Ham fans know they got away with one there. But we can't go and win games that we're not playing well and putting our chances away. So yeah, fingers crossed. We have a bit more luck, I suppose, as well as play the better stuff. One thing I just wanted to pick up on you there. You said we haven't beaten them in even the lower division. Have we not beaten them when we were in the championship? Done the double?
Not double over them. We have beaten them,
but we've not done a double even in the champ.
Even in the champ, no, we didn't do the double.
Hell.
No.
Right, that's unbelievable. One more thing I just want to touch upon. We've probably seen a few rumours flying around today about Patrick Bamford and Luke Ayling. Now, by the time this goes out, it will the England squad will have been released. So we are speculating here. This is recorded on Wednesday night. So the rumours that have been flying around today are obviously that Patrick Bamford and Luke Ayling potentially going to be linking up with the England squad for the next 3 qualifiers. That will come within a short period of time as well. So there's a good opportunity that if they are called up, that they will get a cap. Thoughts on that? I mean, I'm super proud if that's true.
I think it's first of all with Luke. I think it's fantastic the journey that he's been on. From where he's obviously come from, he's worked his way up after being released by Arsenal and obviously at Yeovil and then Bristol City. And Lee Johnson didn't think he was good enough, found him out to Leeds, and he's been absolutely phenomenal at Leeds United, vice captain to his mate Liam Cooper. And touch wood that he does get a call up. I think he's been brilliant. I think he deserves it. And it'll be great to see a couple more Leeds players around the England squad. Same for Patrick Bamford. I think he's had a brilliant season. I think he's defied a lot of his critics this season that people said he couldn't do it in the Premier League. The complete opposite. He has done it in the Premier League. And yeah, it'll be absolutely fantastic if those two do get called up, along with Calvin Phillips as well. So I've got my stats at the ready, whether it's 2 players or 3 players. I hope it's 3, but I don't know what time the announcement is. By the time this goes out, I'm sure it would have been done. So fingers crossed that we have some players to make England a bit more interesting, because we know international breaks are the most enjoyable of times, and especially at this time of year, you just want to play football. So yeah, fingers crossed, and all fully deserves it. It does make you feel really proud to be a Leeds fan.
Absolutely, it gives you something worth watching as well, as the internationals are pretty shit usually, especially on the time. My only concern with Paddy and Luke, absolutely deserve to get that call up is, and we saw it a little bit with Phillips, is that Southgate's style is not suited to a Leeds United player. I don't think is probably the best and nicest and fairest possible way of describing it. And he came back a little that half a yard slower, maybe even I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a difficult one with Southgate. I'm not the biggest England fan. Never claimed to be an England fan, we all jump on the bandwagon at the tournaments. We've all done it. We all kind of get involved with it. But his style isn't the greatest on the eye. And I think we've got San Marino on one of these. I think putting me and you in defence and your kids in defence, I think we'll probably still beat San Marino.
Yeah. Oh, well, we can only wait and see. Anyway, as we say, with this, we are only speculating. As this went out, this is recorded Wednesday. The team's announced tomorrow, which is Thursday the 18th. So I think we'll probably know more then anyway. Great. Last part of the show then. 5 for both then. So can you give me 5 players, Mr. Statman, that have played for both Leeds United and Fulham, please?
Yes. David Healy.
David Healy, I missed him off my list.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ross McCormack.
Yeah, I had Ross.
Matt Smith.
I had Matt Smith.
Olivier Dacour.
I had Dacour.
Alan Clark.
Alan Sniffer Clark. Now, I didn't get him, but somebody else in the group did get Alan Clark. And I've got a couple more for you.
Go on.
And then I want you to fact check this last one. So I've got Tom Kearney, obviously.
Yeah, obviously didn't play first team for Leeds.
Didn't play first team, right. Andy Lonergan.
Yes.
And then the last one, Josh Onoma.
I think he was on the books at Leeds, but again, he never certainly played first team for Leeds.
Right. Did he come through the youth at Leeds then?
I believe so. And there's a couple of others you could have had. Jeff Horsfield.
Jeff, the Barnsley bricklayer.
Big Jeff. And Tony Warner.
Ah, brilliant. Well, I mean, we probably could have, if we sat there and talked, we probably could have gone on all night and probably start dragging up all sorts of other players. But if anybody does get any when they've listened to this, do copy both myself and Stats at LUFC Stats. And we're really interested to hear your knowledge as well as ours. So thanks ever so much again.
Josh Onoma didn't actually start at Leeds. He started his career at Tottenham Hotspur.
He did, didn't he? Yeah. It was somebody in the group mentioned it earlier, and I said that's a bit of a wild card, a bit of a red herring. I don't remember him being at Leeds.
I wasn't certain on that one. He did have a loan spell at Sheffield Wednesday, which I wasn't too sure about, but there you go.
It doesn't ring any bells with me him being at Leeds. But yeah.
Tom Kenny, yes, as we all well know. Onoma, I don't know on this occasion.
Okay. Well then, there you go. That's for the person in the group who doesn't know their football. Well done. Thanks ever so much again, Stats. Look forward to another episode of Brady and Cork straight after the game on Friday night, hosted by Adam and Carl this week. So if you do get a chance, do have a watch of that. In the meantime, enjoy your week, and we will catch up at some point over the next week or so during the international break for a preview on Sheffield United. Yes, please. We've got to beat them. We'll talk about that more when it comes. Cheers, Stats. Look forward to it. Cheers, Lou. Take care, mate. Bye-bye. I'm Statman, brought to you by Orta No Better, hosted by OKB regular Luke and friend of the pod, Andrew Dalton. Special thanks to Emily Render for her graphics and to Jim Sachs for the use of her music. I'm a Statman.